Hello everyone, it's a new week. Okay, let's continue to the end of this section, this chapter. Okay, next chapter is chapter 12. Let's read the end of this chapter, chapter 11. Okay. Perpetual War in 18th century England. Wars, great and small, have always been a plague plague, plague, plague to Europe, but it was not until they were easy to finance through through central banking and fiat money that they became virtually perpetual, perpetual. For example, the following war chronicle begins Chronicle Chronicle begins immediately following the formation of the Bank of England, which, as you recall, was created for the special purpose of financing a war. The War of the League, Augsburg, the War of Jenkins, Spanish, Australian, French India against revolutionary France, Napoleon. In addition to these European conflicts, there also were two wars with America: the War for Independence and the War of 1812. In the 126 years between 1689 and 1815, England was at war 63 of them. That is one out of every 2 years in combat. The others were spent preparing for combat. The mark of the Rothschild formula is unmistakable. In these conflicts, the monetary scientists often were seen financing both sides, whether ending in victory or defeat. The outcome merely preserved or restored the European balance of power, and the most permanent result of any of these wars was expand government debt for all parties.帮我翻译成中文并注明翻译细节。The outcome merely preserved or restored And the most prominent result of any of these wars was expanding government debt for all parties. By the end of the 18th century, the House of Rothschild had become one of the most successful financial institutions the world has ever known. At meteoric, it's meteoric, it's meteoric, its meteoric rise can be attributed to the great industry and shrewdness of the five brothers who established themselves in various capitals of Europe and forged the world's first international financial network. As pioneers in the practice of lending money to governments, they soon learned that this provided unique opportunities to parlay 连续下注 wealth into political power as well. Before long, most of the princes and kings of Europe had come within their influence. The Rothschilds also had mastered the art of smuggling on grand scale, often with the tact, tact, tacit approval of the governments whose laws they violated. Violated. This was perceived by all parties as an unofficial bonus for providing needed funding to those same governments, particularly in time of war. Perceived 被认为 be perceived as the fact that different branches of the Rothschild network also might be providing funds for the enemy was pragmatically ignored. pragmatically 被人为的、务实的、被彻彻底底的 ignored. Thus, a time-honored practice among financiers was born. Profiting from both sides, a time-honored. 那抄家是很常大规模的走私的艺术，通常他们是违反其法律认为下，各方都认为这是向这些政府提供资金的被官方鼓励，充分之可能在被务实的忽略了，因此一种金融家由来已久的惯例诞生了，从双方获利。A time-honored 由来已久的 practice and among financiers. The Rothschilds operated a highly efficient intelligence gathering system which provided them with advanced knowledge of important events knowledge which was invaluable for investment decisions. When an exhausted Rothschild carrier delivered the first news of the Battle of Waterloo, Northern was able to deceive the London-born traders into a selling panic, and that allowed him to acquire the dominant holding of England's entire debt at but a tiny fraction of its worth. Dominant, 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 dominant. A study of these and similar events reveals a personality profit not just of the Rothschilds, but of that special breed of international financiers whose success typically is built upon certain character traits. Those include code objectivity, immunity to patriotism, and indifferences to the human condition. 他们的成功通常建立在某种特定性格之上。A study of these similar events reveals a personality profile, not just the but of the special breed of international financiers. Whose success typically is built upon certain character traits. Those include code objectivity 冷酷客观，就是冷静客观。Immunity to patriotism 爱国主义的美哦 patriotism immunity patriotism indifferences of the human condition indifference. The profile is the basis for proposing a theoretical strategy called the Ricciardo formula, which motivates such men to propel governments into war, 陷入策划驱使 propel into war for the purpose they yield. This formula most likely has never been consciously phrased as it appears here, but subconscious motivation and personality traits work together to implement it. Nevertheless, as long as the mechanism of central banking exists, it will be to such men in a resistible temptation to convert that into perpetual war and war into perpetual debt. In the following chapter, we shall track the distinctive footprint of the JEKYLL formula as it leads up to our own doorstep in the present day. The profile is basis for proposing a theoretical strategy called the JEKYLL. Proposing a theor a theor a theoretical which motivates such men to propel governments into war for the profits they yield. This formula most likely has never been consciously phrased. Consciously 有意识的表达出来 ，as it appears here， 就像这里所呈现的这样。But subconscious 潜意识里 subconscious motivations and personality traits work together to imply it nevertheless. 这里所呈现的被有意识的表达出来，但潜意识的动机和性格特征共同作用，仍然在实施它。As long as the mechanism of banking central banking exists, it will be to such men an irresistible temptation. Resistible temptation. To convert debt into perpetual war and war into perpetual debt. In the following chapters, we shall track these different objects as it leads up to our doorstep. Track the distinctive footprint leads up to our own doorstep, the present day. Ah, 这章就讲了一个 Chapter 11，讲了一个公式224，看一下啊，224 The New Alchemy Chapter 11 The Transfer Formula OK 看一下这个 The Rise of the House of Rothschild in Europe The tradition among financiers of fighting from both sides of armed conflict, the formula by which war is converted into debt and direct debt converted back into war. Okay, this is the Rothschild formula. Okay, let's continue to the new chapter 11. 242 Okay. Chapter 12. Think the Lusitania. The role of JP Morgan. In providing loans to England and France in World War I. The souring of those loans as it became apparent that Germany would win. The betrayal of a British ship and the sacrifice of American passengers as a stratagem to bring America into the war. The use of American tax to pay off the loans. The story of the green loans became apparent that German war. 对指控参与了袭击美国公民的阴谋转嫁，最终美国纳税人。The role of JP Morgan in providing loans to England and France in World War I. The story of these loans as it becomes apparent that Germany would win. The betrayal the use of marketplace to pay off. This is the JP Morgan. Okay. I think that's all for today. Tomorrow we will read the chapter 12 about the JP Morgan in World War I. Okay. That's all for today. Thank you. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.